Okay, so we're always talking about how AI is going to shake up frontline jobs, right? But what about the people caught in the middle? I'm talking about middle managers. Today, we're diving into what their role really looks like in the age of AI. And trust me, the answer is probably not what you're thinking.
You've heard the story, I'm sure. The common narrative is that AI and automation are just going to swoop in, take over all the reporting and tracking, and poof, the middle manager becomes a thing of the past. It sounds plausible, it's a neat story, but is it actually true?
Well, it turns out that narrative is completely, totally wrong. In fact, it's the exact opposite. AI isn't here to replace managers. It's a catalyst. It's something that makes excellent managers more crucial than they have ever been. So let's get into why that is.
All right, first things first, let's just bust this myth wide open. Think about it. When AI starts changing everything about how work gets done, who do you think frontline employees are going to turn to? They're managers. They need someone to show them the ropes with these new tools, to help them figure out what to do with all this new free time, and just generally help them make sense of their new roles.
And this right here is the key. Rolling out AI isn't just a tech problem, it's a people problem. The best tech in the world is useless if nobody uses it right. And who is perfectly positioned to lead that human side of the change? You guessed it, the managers. Okay, so this leads us to the first and maybe most important new role for managers. You can think of them as a human translation layer. They're the bridge between the C-suite's high-flying AI strategy and what's actually happening on the ground floor. And this is so much more than just passing down memos. Your middle managers, they're the ones who get the nitty-gritty details. They know the customer's real problems, the things that leadership might not see from their 30,000-foot view. This lets them not only make the AI strategy work in the real world, but also, and this is huge, send that crucial feedback right back up the ladder. So here's how that flow actually works. You've got the C-suite with this big, ambitious vision for AI. Okay, great. The middle manager takes that vision, which can be kind of abstract, and translates it into actual, concrete tasks for their team. They're the ones who make sure everyone gets not just what they need to do, but why the heck it even matters. And let's be clear, the risk of getting this wrong is absolutely massive. Without that translation layer, you could have the most brilliant, most expensive AI strategy on the planet, and it'll just get lost in translation. It completely fails to land with the people who need to use it. And what do you get? Wasted money, frustrated employees, and a shiny new tool that nobody uses. But it doesn't stop at translation. Managers have another huge job. They have to be the champions of this change. They're on the front lines, dealing with all the very real, very human fears and pushback that always come with new tech. And research shows they do this in 4 really key ways. First, they're doing strategic workforce planning, figuring out what skills the team will need next. Second, they're encouraging something cool called reverse mentoring, letting the younger, tech-savvy folks teach the senior staff. Third, they're just promoting AI literacy, taking the fear out of it. And finally, and this is so important, they're helping their team shift focus to higher value, more creative work. When you boil it all down, it's really about building the right culture. A good manager frames AI as an enabler, not a threat. They listen to their team's worries, they actually use the new tools themselves, and they keep talking about how this tech is here to help, not replace. That's how you build the trust you need for any of this to actually work.
So all this change doesn't just affect the team members, it completely redefines what it means to be a manager. AI is pushing them to evolve from being a simple supervisor to becoming a genuine strategist.
Get a load of this number, 43%. A recent study found that nearly half of a manager's typical tasks, I'm talking about the boring stuff, compiling reports, tracking metrics, all that routine monitoring, could be handled by AI. Now, that might sound scary, but it's not a threat. It's a huge, huge opportunity for them to redefine their entire job. And that's really the heart of the evolution. It's less of the admin, less of the reporting, less of the routine check-ins, and it's way more of the truly human stuff: coaching, strategy, empathy, and creative problem solving. AI handles the busy work so they can handle the people work. So let's put a pin in this. The role is shifting from task supervisor to team enabler. Their job isn't to watch over people's shoulders anymore. It's to unlock the full potential of their human AI teams, to make them more creative and more productive than ever before. But here's the catch. This big evolution isn't just going to happen magically. Organizations themselves have to step up and support their managers through this massive shift. The big question is, how do they do that?
Well, this data shows there's a pretty big disconnect right now. Look at this. 64% of companies are offering AI training. That's great. But only 35% have the actual change management programs to back it up. You see that? That's the empowerment gap. We're giving people the tool, but not the support system to use it well. So, what can companies do? Here are a few really concrete steps. First, give managers the right training, not just on the tech, but on leadership in this new era. Second, use AI to automate their boring tasks to free up their time. Third, change how you measure their performance. Reward them for coaching and innovation, not just hitting quotas. And finally, create peer networks so they can learn from each other. Simple, but powerful.
Okay, let's tie this all together. The big takeaway is this. Middle managers aren't the victims of AI. Not at all. They are the catalysts for its success. When you empower them, when you give them the tools and the support they need, they become the key to making the whole thing work. Strengthening that middle layer strengthens the entire company. And so that leaves us with one last, pretty critical question for you to think about. Your company might be pouring tons of money into the latest AI tech, but is it investing in the people, the managers who will make or break its success? The AI is ready. The real question is, are your managers?